Welcome to our Saturday call. This is Sandi Cohen, and we do these calls every Saturday morning at 9 Pacific. They're hosted through Xango University, and our mission statement is one by one, no one left behind. And this is so important to understand because anyone has that millionaire mind gene within them, and it's our responsibility to help you unlock it and live the life that you deserve. So a little bit about who we are. My name is Sandi Cohen, and I'm married to my childhood sweetheart, Ed, who's a retired pharmacist, and we're probably married more years than most of you are old. We're part of the Sweet 16, and if you don't know what that is, just ask on another call, or you can send me an email. We're members of the multi-million-dollar club because we've helped so many others duplicate success. We're also contributing authors in the new book, The Change, as well as Millionaire Women in Network Marketing. And today's subject is one of my favorites, cracking the code to success. You know, people always ask me, how in the world, Sandi, did you and Ed at the age of 52 go from $450,000 in debt to earning millions of dollars? And it only took me 10 years to be an overnight success. And my goal and my passion is to help you do it a whole lot faster. And network marketing was our vehicle. We were dead broke. We had no money, and our only option was to look at network marketing and duplicate so that we could live life the way it's supposed to be. Now, when you look at where we are today in 2015, the world is aligning in that if you're 50 or older, you're probably a little nervous because according to the AARP, to the Gallup surveys, to the Federal Reserve, the average 50-year-old person has less than $50,000 set aside for retirement. And some at the age of 50 or more have nothing set aside for retirement. Between 2007 and 10, the nest eggs of Americans shrunk 33%. I remember sitting on a plane next to an airline pilot who was a passenger, and he told me that everything that he had worked for 30 years evaporated in smoke when the economy crashed. And the real unemployment rate is really about 15.8% because very much they don't often count in the people that have stopped looking for work. So it's a pretty scary economic time for us. And in 2008, just about when the economy crashed, 35% of college graduates, these are people that spent a fortune and are loaded with and saddled with college loans, are underemployed or not employed at all. So many are moving back in with their families. And by June of 2013, 44% of graduates are underemployed. They're working at minimum wage. I just had somebody at the house yesterday with a college degree working 2 jobs. He's looking for a third because he cannot get employed in the profession in which he was educated. So education isn't always the answer. It's important, but it's not the solution. And in 2008, there was a study by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York that 22% of people with PhDs or professional degrees were underemployed. And that rose to 59% with people who had a master's degree. And it wasn't because of the recession, because these numbers have been growing since 2001. So it had nothing to do with the economic crash. But our labor market is changing. College graduates were supplied at a higher rate than the labor market could use. So the predictable result is that they're forced to find employment in lower skilled jobs. And this came from the CCAP, which is a Center for College Affordability and Productability. Now, here's one of my favorite guys, Robert Kiyosaki. And Robert is going to be one of two of our keynote speakers at Rush at convention, the international convention that happens only every 2 years. This is going to be the biggest in Xango's 13-year history. So you need to do whatever you need to do to be at Rush in Vegas the weekend of September 9th. Remember, events are not negotiable. Now, hopefully everyone has read Robert's, one of Robert's many best-selling books, The Business of the 21st Century, where he wrote, and I quote, "Network marketing, direct selling is the model of the future." And he asks why? Because the world is finally starting to wake up to the reality that the industrial age is behind us. And his new book, and I suggest getting it as quickly as you can, and at Xango University, it's in our shopping cart on a suggested reading list. It's his brand new book called Second Chance. So you want to pick up that and bring it to convention so that you can get it autographed personally by Robert. David Bach, another New York Times best-selling author, says, and I quote, "The beauty of direct selling the business opportunity is that it's all done for you. You don't have to create a business plan. You don't have to create a product. You don't have to mortgage your house and firstborn. You don't have to wait 3 to 5 years for an ROI, for a return on investment. The only thing you need to do is find a reputable company, one that you can trust, that offers a product or service that you believe in and can get passionate about." And you know that I'm constantly looking for the right people. And I had a conversation yesterday with a woman who has been following a guy who has crashed and burned at least 4 money games in the last 4 years, and yet she's still following him. And I said to her, you know, if you want to predict the future, just look at the past. Why in the world would you be with someone who has no integrity? And her bottom line was that it was all about the money, and she wasn't looking for long term, and she didn't care about other people. She just wanted to create the now money instead of thinking about long-term royalty income. Harry Dent, met Harry Dent actually last year. He was a guest speaker at the Association of Network Marketing Professional event in Dallas, of which we are co-founders, and his most recent book is The Demographic Cliff. And if you haven't read it, it's another good book to have, How to Survive and Prosper During a Great Deflation. And he thinks the worst is yet to come over the next 4 or 5 years. And he's well known and featured in Barron's, Investors Business, Daily Business Week, the Wall Street Journal, and this is his quote: "The coming years should be a great time for prospecting in network marketing as the economy continues to get worse." Pretty scary, because some of us look through rose-colored glasses, and those glasses are going to get very cloudy. So you need to put in place your plan B. What is it that you want to have in place for your future over the next 2 to 4 years? Vijay Aswan, a little difficult to pronounce his name, but he's a widely respected economist and featured speaker at the Commonwealth Business Forum of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2007 and 2009, where he was a panelist at the World Economic Forum's East Asia Summit in Vietnam. And this was his quote from that World Economic Forum: "Network marketing is the most logical bridge across the abyss we are facing right now." So are you getting the message here that the world and the state of the economy is perfect for what we do and what we're passionate for and how we can share this with other people? Now, last year, there was an article in the prestigious Forbes magazine. I mean, it doesn't get better than this, guys. I mean, think about all those economists, and now we're talking about Forbes believes that network marketing is one of the most significant solutions for retirement. Now, what I have here on the slide is not something that I wrote. I actually took quotes from the article, and if you're not online and you're on the phone, I'm going to read it so you see how powerful this is. Robert Laura, a contributor for Forbes, recently wrote an article for the publication stating that he believes MLM is one of the most significant solutions for retirement, and he shares why. Think about that. A significant solution for retirement. Are you on this call because you want a safe, comfortable retirement? And he goes in to say, I dug in and got the real scoop. As a result, I believe the entire industry of network marketing, obviously, poised for explosive growth and can be one of the most significant solutions to America's current retirement savings crisis. So who do you know that's 50 years old that doesn't have $500,000 or $1 million in the bank for their retirement? Probably most of the people I know don't have that in place. AARP's estimate that half of all baby boomers, 76 million, are interested in starting a business, and the makings of a massive trend are already in place. With the average 50-year-old estimated to have less than $50,000 in retirement savings, there is an obvious need to find alternative ways to either save more, spend less, obviously, or generate supplemental income starting now and continuing throughout your retirement. Moving beyond just the dollars and cents, boomers are growing tired of feeling guilty or bad about their poor past saving habits and are interested in moving towards possible solutions. The article goes on to say, I no longer perceive these types of opportunities as money-making pyramid schemes. Instead, I now see it as a way to enhance many of the personal aspects of retirement that are rarely discussed, let alone planned for, with the added benefit of supplementing other popular retirement income sources such as pension and Social Security. So guess what? If you think you can get by on that measly little Social Security check, oh my gosh, you're in for a sad reality. And if you're young, if you're one of the Gen Y generation, who knows if Social Security is even going to be around by the time you are eligible. So jobs typically don't create wealth. Let's face it, guys. If you're working a job, probably the only way you can create wealth is if you marry the boss's daughter or son. They're great to have and sometimes a necessity, but you'll very likely never create wealth when you're working for someone else, even if the job pays well. And what are you doing? You're really building somebody else's dream. The average U.S. wage in 2013, get this, guys, was $44,888 a year. That averages to about $863 a week. Now think about that. When you get to probably a 5K, that's the 5K average is actually between a 5K and a 20K, more than that. So that should be your goal. So now let's talk about direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing. It doesn't matter what you call it, but we bridge this economic gap. And let's talk about how. Now, the Great Recession of 2008, and all of us have experienced this, and not just in the United States and Canada, but the whole world went upside down. countries went bankrupt. Some of them are still going bankrupt. But the gross domestic product dropped 5.1%. And it was the second worst economic crash since World War II. Our jobless rates doubled. And home prices, oh my goodness, they went through the basement. I mean, I know because we built our home in Lake Las Vegas just before the crash. And I don't think it'll ever go back to where it was. Now, during this economic crash, it's interesting that direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing dipped. Yes, it did. The whole industry dipped. But it didn't dip as bad as the rest of what happened to the economy. And right now, and these stats go through 2013, we're at an all-time record high at over $32 billion in sales. And I believe that's just in the United States and Canada. So how big is direct selling in the United States? And as of 2013, 5% of the population here in America were involved in direct selling. That was about 16.8 million people. And the Harris poll that was taken in 2014 and was published in the Direct Selling News said that nearly 1/3 of the adults in the United States have purchased something from a direct seller over the last 6 months. I thought that was fascinating because sometimes people are not open to the business side, but everyone should be open to shortcuts to better health and the extraordinary products that we have at Xango. So how big is direct selling globally? And this was a biggie for me when we were in our former company, when we were in only the United States and Canada, and we were 7 years old. And my upline, Harvard MBA graduate, so pretty sharp guy, used to say the dumbest things. He used to say, we're the next billion-dollar giant. And I said to him one day, stop saying that to people that I put you on the phone with because you sound like an idiot. How in the world can we be $1 billion company when we're only in the United States and Canada? And it was my dream. It was my dream to be in a company that had a global opportunity. Why? Because in 2012, there were $167 billion worth of business globally in network marketing, and it rose to $178 billion worldwide. That was an increase of 8.1%. So think about this. Do you want a piece of a little pie in the United States and Canada, or do you want a piece of the world and have a piece of that? And that's why in Xango we have what is referred to as a seamless compensation plan. When I was in one of those former companies of the 11 that I was with, they did not have a seamless compensation plan. So, in fact, somebody on this call was in that same company. So if I wanted to sponsor somebody in the UK, I had to start a distributorship in the UK and fulfill that monthly commitment with UK volume. If I wanted to start a team in Australia, I had to fill out an Australian app. I had to buy product through the Australian website, and I had to qualify that position as well. So it was an absolute nightmare. So we are blessed because if you sign up somebody in Australia or UK or China, it's like signing up somebody who lives next door. It's totally seamless. And the sources for these numbers come from the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations. And we are so proud and honored because our founders have been invited to be on the board of not just the Direct Selling Association, or the acronym is DSA, but also the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations. I challenge anyone that you're talking to that is looking to become a potential business partner, see if their founders have that kind of credibility. I doubt it. So what's the one most important thing everybody wants? What do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it? And here's my take on it. Eddie and I call it POM, peace of mind, knowing that you don't have to worry. I mean, what would you do if you were 52 years old and $450,000 in debt? Other than going to bed crying, waking up crying. I mean, what in the world would you do? And I think people are looking for freedom, that peace of mind, to live life on your terms. So what do you want? When do you want it? And what are you willing to do to get it done? And if you're like we were, I mean, we had to borrow the money to get into network market. We didn't even have $200. In fact, we didn't have $100. But I promised my guardian angel that lent us the money that I would pay them back within 60 days. And I did it within 30 days. And that was the beginning of my journey on figuring out my personal and professional skills, so that I'm blessed now to have helped so many people live life on their terms. So according to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and Anthony Robbins teaches this all the time, what are the 6 human needs that we all want? I don't care where you live. I don't care how old you are. The 6 are assurance that you avoid pain and gain pleasure. I mean, that's a simple one. We avoid pain, and we're always going towards pleasure. Variety, the need for change, the need for new stimuli, significance, importance, making a difference, connection, love, a strong feeling or closeness with something or someone, a passion for what you're doing, because you know what you're doing is changing people's lives through better health and better finances, growth, understanding, capacity, and contributing to the service of others. That's what we do. We are servant leaders, because the more we give, the more we get. So why do people join direct selling? And that direct selling category has everything in it, from party plan to network marketing to multi-level marketing. So many people, I think the number one reason they get involved in direct selling is because they are looking for additional income. Just remember this. I have a friend who has over $1 million in the bank today. $1 million. You know, I don't know many people that have $1 million in the bank today. And when I asked, you know, what is your return on investment? What is your ROI with that money sitting in the bank at today's interest rates? At today's interest, not, 25 years ago. I remember my mother she was living in Florida, and she used to take her money from one bank to another, because not only were the interest rates so good, but they would give her a blender, they would give her a toaster, she would get all these gifts, and every other month she was taking her money from one bank to go to another bank. Those are not the days today. So many people today could use a couple $100 extra a month. And my friend who has $1 million in the bank, most people never guess what her return on investment is every month. And I'm going to share with you what that is. Does anybody want to put it in the chat window? What do you think her return on investment for $1 million sitting in the bank today in the year 2015? What do you think that number is? A measly $285 a month. $285 a month. So just think about that. If you become a 1K on your way to 5K, and you've got a residual income of a couple $100 a month, that's almost equivalent to having $1 million in the bank at today's interest rate. which I think is amazing? Are you joining for recognition, for rewards, for the social camaraderie, for the product discounts, as well as for wellness, and the opportunity to learn and grow? Here's the real challenge to creating royalty income. I used that phrase yesterday talking to somebody, and she said, what is royalty income? That means money coming in that you can count on every week, every month, year after year. And when you find a worthy opportunity that will set you free, it has the capacity for long-term sustainable growth. That's where we are today. So are you looking for peace of mind? If you are, say yes in the chat room. Peace of mind, so that when you wake up in the morning, you feel so good about who you are and what you're doing for you and your family's future. So, it's up to you to decide. I think decision is probably one of the strongest words in the English language. Decision. Make a decision, and you must commit to the decision. You can't waver. You've got to commit the next 2 to 4 years to have the life that you deserve, not 2 to 4 weeks and 2 to 4 months. And we're all leaders on this call. So I'm going to give you a little bit of scary statistics from the Direct Selling Association. Are you ready for this? And I say it, and it's shocking to me. It is absolutely shocking. But according to the DSA, 8 out of 10 people will quit in network marketing within the first 90 days. I'm going to say it again. According to the DSA, the Direct Selling Association, 8 out of 10 people will quit their network marketing business within 90 days. They go into what I call the WPP, the Witness Protection Program. They don't return your phone calls. They don't return your text messages. So are you one of those 8? Or are you one of the small percentage who's going to commit to the journey, because your success is your responsibility to become the person that other people want to follow. So, I've had this situation happen a few times where people say to me, they're working 2 jobs. They've never had any success. Like me, they've been in a handful of companies or more. And when I ask them what are their realistic goals, they give me, well, I want to be making $100,000 a month within a year. You want to be making $100,000 a month within a year? But yet you tell me you've burned your warm market, that you don't want to go back to them. You've told me you have no skills. You've told me you can barely get online. You have no tech skills whatsoever. Do you know how hard it is? I mean, do you earn $100,000 a month right now? Heck no. Do you earn $20,000 a month right now? Heck no. Do you earn $5,000 a month? Heck no. So where do people come off thinking that without developing both personally and professionally, that they can earn serious income? And it's all up to you to commit to your personal growth. This is why we're so passionate about the university, because we can shortcut your learning curve. So $100,000 a month could be possible. Why not? There are others that have done it, but probably not working 10 hours a week. In fact, on our Wednesday night call, Unlocking Your $1 Million Mindset, if you were on that call, or if you would like to listen to the replay, they're all archived. But most people that are very financially successful typically work not a 40-hour-a-week job. They work 60 hours a week or 70 hours a week or 80 hours a week. They do whatever wherever it needs to be done. So make sure that you commit to the journey, because you will succeed and you will have the life you've dreamed of. A little bit of update. Rush is coming. Every call is talking about Rush Convention, and this is the event after the event on Sunday, so make your travel plans to stay. I always say events are not negotiable. I promise you, if you come to Rush, based on what I know, and I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, but if you knew what I knew, you would literally put a rope around people's neck to get to Vegas at the MGM Grand, because it's going to be the biggest 13-year history of Xango. On Sunday, approximately 40 leaders, that's 40 leaders are going to be teaching and training exactly what they've done and what they're going to do coming out of convention. And we have an early bird special right now that ends July 31st. So make sure you go to XangoUnited.com. And this is not a university event, by the way. This is a Xango nationwide event where all the leaders, all our crossline, what I call kissing cousins, are all coming together with one primary purpose. Even the founders are attending that Sunday event. So make sure you pre-register at XangoUnited.com, where you can still save some money on those event tickets. But I promise you, coming to Rush and staying for Sunday will probably put your skills 6 months to a year ahead. And we've got some surprise speakers as well. So as we all know, you do have a millionaire mind, and you are saying yes to success, and your dreams are waiting for you. You will live life as it should be. So thank you again for attending our Saturday training. I'm right on time.